Well, the lovely Against All Odds story you heard from Mercy and Kola. I told Mercy she's going to write a book, so the full story will be there. Kola's full story is in the book, but the point is they chose to act on whatever it was that was negative that they could have easily run away from, which is a function of mind being over matter, something that my next guest keeps reminding me of because she's a psychologist. In a few months, she'll be a doctor, so I'm going to call you Dr. Chiadu, whether you like it or not. You know, but she's originally a lawyer who sent me a text saying, you know what, what's going to happen to all of these people they're bringing back home? And I'm like, okay, I'm going to get you on the show. Let's talk about this. So why are you worried about that?
Quite frankly, because...
Did I say welcome? Sorry, welcome to the show. You guys say welcome to her.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you so much, Adesu, and thank you for believing and the hope. I join your hope too, and I will be a doctor very soon. Thank you so much. Quite frankly, I know the effect of trauma because of my experience in the field and personal experience. I know there are conditions like post-traumatic stress disorder. So I know that those people, having been through that Libya experience, could never be the same again. And I wondered to myself, what are we going to do to help them to reintegrate? How are we going to help them heal those memories? How are they ever going to be able to feel as a part of this country after the things they've been through? It's because I look at wellness as holistic. A lot of things actually, like you say, and I always say, is mind over matter. And except the mind receives a thorough healing and a cleansing and a strengthening, the individual is not likely to
let me go to Kola on this. You know, fine, they need to be healed. Should we really pity people who've gone across when they, I mean, did you have a choice? Could you have gone across, for example?
Yes, when, like I wrote in the book, when I had issues with my business and I was, heavily in debt.
You say, God, only me. I have a physical disability. Only
of course,
me.
As at that time, I had a physical disability.
You had your kids.
We didn't have any child until 7 years, you know. When the business thing happened, we had to move from a palace to a boys' quarters. There was no food, no clothes, no nothing. Yes, it came to me and said, it came to my turn and said, let's get out of this place. But
leave
then,
this country? Yes,
leave this country. Then I came back to myself. I said, where you are going, do you know what you're going to meet there? You're going empty-handed. What gives you the assurance that things are going to work out there? And thank God I had siblings. At least one of them was able to advise me and say, this is where the real thing is.
So in other words, that thing happens to most people. You want to leave. You say it is hope. But where did you get hope from? Because fine, you could easily have left, even if you didn't have money. You could have even if walked the streets of Lagos or even tried to cross to Italy.
For me, it was basically because from when I was young, I had a vision of what I wanted to be. And that's why I feel it's very important to empower.
Who gave you that vision?
Okay, so I have a lot of people who inspire me. So I watch NTA back then. I see Sienna Orwell Brown, Razak Brown, Razak Lawal eventually, and then I see Eugenia Abu, and much later I see Auntie Adeswa, I see Auntie Fumi Yonda, I see Auntie Betty, and I'm like, these are great women. Not because they have all the money in the world, but because they're women who own their space and they know what they're doing. You can see when they're talking, you can see self-confidence. They really know what they're doing, they know their onions, and that's what I've always wanted to be. I wanted to be a woman other women look up to and feel inspired. So from when I was a teenager...
So you're not discouraged even by that?
No.
I remember you say you used to go to the office sometimes with sunglasses.
Yes, and all of that. So I wasn't discouraged, and that's why I insisted that I would go to school. I mean, after the marriage, everybody was like, you're married to a pilot, you have children, you live on 1 acre in GRA, what do you want to go to school for? I insisted, and it was a big fight. So it took us 3 years for him to allow me to go back to school after the wedding, and I still went. And it was a struggle for me to finish for 4 years in Unilag. You know, it was a huge struggle.
With the baby
with the children and everything,
but
I still insisted I wanted to get that education. So that helped me. The mindset is very important.
So Chiadu, which comes to the question of, you said, at the end of the day, it's all about hope. People are going to look for hope. These people she found hope in inspiration. He found hope in the support of his family. So what happens to people who give up?
You see, there's something known as individual differences. the way a particular person responds to a particular set of stressors is so different from the way the next person does. Some fight, some flee, and some freeze. That is actually the effect of stressors on an individual.
Also, scientifically, people who are trying to cross Nigeria and go and look for hope there, and the kind of hazardous things that they go through
shows you that they are actually very strong people. They are actually pursuing...
And they're just greedy.
I am very reluctant to label people because you don't know everybody's story until you know the story. I'm very careful because the taste of the pudding is usually in the eating. And I always say, maybe because of my training, empathy, you step into the person's shoes, the person's environment. This could be young girls that their mothers say things like, is it not your mate that built a house for his father? What's wrong with you? You're here wasting your life. Useless boy. You want to be useless like your father. These things resonate. They could strike a chord in people's minds and propel them. I am telling you, he had supportive parents. He had inspirational role models like you and the other newscasters. But those people could have had that horrible, quiet voice saying to them, see you want to stay here. You will die a truck pusher. Look at your mates. See, even your mother is displeased with you. You can't do anything. Individual differences. Even your two children, born and bred and nurtured in your home, respond to things differently. All of us respond to stressors differently.
So tell me, what are the lessons for us in all of them? When you hear those stories, what does it do to you? Mercy,
and then I feel
Kola.
that we should do a lot more because these people are...
we?
I mean, the society, you and I, and individuals generally, because I know that what informs who a person is basically three things: their education, their environment, and their experience. So these people are in a setting where they see people come from Italy with Forex, hard currency, and they seem to be doing well. And they believe that that's the only option they have. But if we let them know that, look, there are a lot of opportunities here. When I left the abusive marriage, I traveled, I went to Kula for a few days in the UK, and there was a lot of pressure on me by people there that I should stay back. What are you going to do? Now, it was easier to stay back because in Nigeria I was suffering stigmatization. I wasn't sure of the next, what was going to happen to me next. My ex was on the loose trying to get my head. So there were so many things, after me, and I was just enjoying my life in the UK. But I thought about it like, no, this is not the life I want. Those guys going to Libya don't know what they want in life.
That's right.
Most of them, if they know what they want in life, if they can sit down and have a definition and they have focus, they will not be thinking of crossing the hazardous river to Libya and to Italy.
Well, that sounds good, right? Even if you have a definition, like you had a definition, you knew what you wanted, you knew you were going to be different. That time you felt when you were 10, you said, this can never happen to me. I'm going to... But you still had difficult circumstances. Yeah. Which brings me to the point, is a function of the kind of person that you are, or... Because Nigeria is tough, oh.
Yeah. Yes, Nigeria is tough. And the truth of the matter is that, like you rightly said, those things that happened when I was young, they actually helped me. They actually toughened me to face the life when everything really turned around for bad for me. I just told myself, if I could make it when I was young, I can make it at any time.
If you could overcome this,
sorry.
I agree with you.
So you see, that's the way you...
Did you ever feel sorry for yourself? I never saw anything...
I don't feel sorry for myself. I'd never, ever, ever felt sorry for myself. In fact, many people look at me and say, why do you still laugh when you have all this trouble? I said, what you can't handle, and you've handed over to God, so what's your problem carrying the load?
That's right.
No, I don't.